Hi chess friends, today we are going to witness Vaishali's brutal attack against Leya. Vaishali plays with white, Leya is black. Vaishali starts with e4, black plays c5, knight c3, d6, the Sicilian defense, f4, aggressive move by Vaishali, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, bishop b5 check, bishop d7, blocks the check, bishop c4, knight c6, d3, knight a5, bishop d2, e6, queen e2. Now white has the option to castle on both the sides. Knight e7, castle on the queen side, a6, preparing b5 to kick the bishop, f5, b5, attacks the bishop. Vaishali didn't care about the bishop and starts attacking in the center, f6. It's not good to capture the bishop. If b pawn takes bishop, f pawn takes bishop, rook has to move to the g8 square. D pawn takes c pawn. Black loses the castle rights on the king side and white has a open f file and half open d file to attack. White has the advantage. So black is forced to take the f6 pawn by bishop. Vaishali force open the f file, e5 by Vaishali. Vaishali wants to open the e and d file also. Taking the e pawn will also open the d file. So white played bishop g7, knight e4, returning the d6 pawn. White is trying to open the center, launch an attack on the black's king. It's better to castle to make the king safe at the cost of a pawn. But black played knight b7 to support the d6 pawn. Best move is castle on the king side. Let's see the continuation. E pawn takes d6 pawn, knight f5, bishop b3. Black's king is safe now. Black can launch an attack on the queen side as some pawns are already advanced. Black has small advantage. Back to the position. Knight b7, bishop g5, pins the knight to queen. The trends to win the knight by knight takes d6 pawn, knight takes knight, e pawn takes knight, and white wins the knight on e7. Taking the bishop is still not good. If b pawn takes bishop, e pawn takes d6 pawn, queen b6, knight f6 check, bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop. Both knight and rook are attacked. If rook moves to g8 square, then d pawn takes knight. King has no squares and it's not easy to remove the e7 pawn. White has d and f file for an attack. White has a huge advantage. Back to the position. Bishop c6. Now queen also defends the d6 pawn. Bishop takes e6 pawn. Bishop sacrifice by Vaishali to break open the center. This bishop was hanging for 5 moves. Bishop takes knight was played. Best move is f pawn takes bishop. Let's see the continuation. Knight f6 check, king f8, rook h1, h6, knight h5, king g8. Black's king is safe now and the game is equal. Back to the position. Bishop takes knight, e pawn takes d6 pawn, knight takes d6 pawn was played, which is a blunder. Best move is queen takes d6 pawn, which unpins the knight. Let's see the continuation. Queen takes bishop, queen takes bishop, queen takes knight, castle on the king side, and the white's attack is nullified. Game is equal. Back to the position. Knight takes d6 pawn, d pawn takes bishop. Now there are multiple pins. Rook pins the knight to queen and the bishop's pin is still exists. Queen b6. by black. Tries to escape from both the pins. e5. Threatens a knight. Knight d5. Slightly better is knight c4. Bishop d7 check. King f8. g4. Threatens a knight. Knight d4. Knight takes knight. C pawn takes knight. Queen f3. Threatens a rook. Rook a7. White gains a tempo. Rook h f1. Threatens queen takes f7 pawn checkmate. Knight f5. Only way to stop checkmate. G pawn takes knight. Black resigned on move 25. The game would have continued as queen b7, e6, f6, queen b3. There are multiple ways to checkmate the black's king. So black resigned. Pause the video and find a checkmate continuation. Compliments on finding it. Let's see it now. First way is bishop f4, bishop d6 check, e7 checkmate. There is no way to stop it. Back to the position. Or queen b4 check, king g8, queen e7 followed by queen f7 checkmate, which cannot be defended. Or there will be extreme material losses. So black resigned. This game demonstrates the necessity of castling. If you like the video, share, subscribe and like. Thank you. Post your suggested games in the comment section.